Indian healthcare has to transform, and it is transforming quite a lot. If you look at last 5 years, the amount of pharma companies, the amount of research organizations that have been set up in India is incredible. So India is becoming the center stage of healthcare today, which also means that there is a lot of scope for innovation at this point of time. So I always recommend people that this is the right time for anybody to get into healthcare.
Hello viewers, welcome back to the latest episode on GIBS IRE Talks podcast, powered by GIBS Business School, a place where innovation meets inspiration. Well, it's indeed incredible to note the kind of transformation that Indian healthcare segment has seen, especially in the last few years, thanks to technology and a lot of innovation have gone through it. And let's not forget the kind of the battle that we faced during the pandemic. And we were also one of the rarest countries who have exported over 75 different countries of the vaccinations. So that speaks about the kind of innovation, that speaks about the transformation that Indian healthcare has seen. So today, to discuss and deliberate on the same topic, we have with us Mr. Srinivas Iyengar, the Vice President and IG Head of Healthcare and Life Sciences, a very well-known organization. He's also the adjunct professor at various prestigious universities, and he has delivered topics on artificial intelligence, digital enterprises, and a lot many. On behalf of all my viewers, I extend a heartfelt welcome to you, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Guru Prasad.
Sir, before I get into the crux, take us through your journey. I mean, I would definitely want to know your life back then, your college, your studies.
Sure, fantastic. I'll surely do that. Before I talk about my life journey, I just wanted to take a minute to express my gratitude to GIBS Business School, you, Mr. Guru Prasad. So thank you for inviting me here.
The pleasure is ours.
And at the same time, I was amazed by looking at the campus and also by looking at the kind of curriculum that you have and how you have engraved technology into this. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So my life journey has been pretty simple. I was born and brought up in Mysore, which is one of the most famous, more cleanest cities in
Absolutely.
India. And I was born in a family, lovely parents. My elder sisters, two of them, they're awesome. And a lot of relatives, all are extremely good and a well-knit family. I studied in Mysore. I studied in Sharda Vilas College, which like many of the Mysoreans would do. Either they would study in Sharda Vilas, Marimula College, there were a few colleges then at that point of time. And I also did my BCom from Bangalore College in Mysore. So at that point of time, I was very much focused on music, and I really wanted to become a musician or a music director, and I was really dreaming about it. And I always thought there is always a niche space in Karnataka film industry then for a music director. Amazingly, if I look back now.
Yes.
And then I was also thinking I can get into South and also into Bollywood if things go well. And I was dreaming quite a lot about it. So I was really pursuing my music as my passion apart from my sports at that point of time. So I was really not focusing on my studies at all. And thankfully, my parents were really, really not averse to that. And they were okay with me focusing on music. I also played a guitar for one of the orchestra teams in Mysore, Kalajyoti Vadya Vrinda. For 2 years, I played for them when I was doing my degree. And I was trying to pursue my career in music. So, and it so happened that when I was in my third year of BCom, at that point of time, I was playing guitar with one of my friend who was a good singer. He's a very well-known singer now. At that point of time, I realized that the amount of knowledge that I was supposed to have to become a musician, I was nowhere near that. I was not even 10% of that. So then I kind of felt that I have only dreams but no stuff to become a music director. So then I decided that I have to pursue my studies. But it was too late. Like I was doing my BCom, I was neither doing my engineering nor my doctor. My mom wanted me to become an engineer. My dad wanted me to become a doctor, but I didn't have choice. So I had only 3 or 4 options, right? Either I had to do my CS or ICWA or CA or do an MBA. I couldn't do MBA because my cousins told me that if you have to do MBA, you have to do it with IIMs or top universities. Otherwise, it would be of no use. So then at that point of time, I chose to do my CA. And till 1993, I was in Mysore. I was studying. And once I cleared my BCom in 93, I went to Tamil Nadu, Tirupur to do my CA. So that's my journey.
Wonderful. All these successful people, they have an incredible story to share, right? So I would ask you this. You ventured into healthcare almost 25 years back. Now that's also the phase where, the healthcare was not doing that great if you compare to any of the emerging economies back then. You are a BCom graduate. You did your CA and you developed passion towards technology, then towards healthcare. So, am I confused or that was a deadly combination?
Yeah. So it so happened that, as I told you, I was more focused towards music. And that point of time, I was not really focusing on my education. So my fundamentals in my 11th, 12th and first year, second year BCom was not that sound.
Okay.
Because of the time that I was spending on music at that point of time. So when I went on to do my CA, I was really not sure if I'll be able to complete my chartered accountancy. Because, CA is a very tough course and
indeed, yes.
Unless you come with a strong fundamentals,
absolutely,
it becomes extremely difficult for you to clear the exams. So parallelly, I started learning computers. So I started learning programming in Clipper. I started learning programming in Delphi. I learned a little bit of C and C++, Fox Pro, and many other programming languages that was prevalent at that point of time. So I started developing a liking towards it. And I also started helping my customers to build software while I was doing my CA.
Wow.
I wanted to buy a motorbike.
Okay.
I did not have money. My parents at that point of time were finding it difficult to afford it for various reasons. So then I thought I'll develop some software and make some money so that I could buy a bike. Yeah. So then I started building software for a few of the government.
That was not easy too. You were a commerce graduate doing a software programming there.
So while I was doing my articleship, I used to go to office from 9 o'clock till 5:30, 6 o'clock. And then 6 to 7:30, I used to work as an internal auditor for one of the companies, which my auditor had facilitated for me. And then 7:30, I used to come back home, program till 10 o'clock and have my dinner. And from 10 to 1 o'clock, I used to study for my CA exams. Wow. And then in the morning, I used to get up, go for a run and then go for office. So my schedule was extremely tight at that point of time. And I enjoyed it. It was nice. So I learned a lot during that time programming. So that is when I decided that when I passed my CA, I kind of decided I had 2 options, right? Either to become a chartered accountant. I had a couple of offers, or to practice technology. And
you choose the next one.
Both of the options were available in front of me. So I chose technology because I felt that was close to my heart. So then I came to Bangalore. That was in year 1998. And I really wanted to build software for finance industry, being a chartered accountant, of course. Then I joined a company, and the company had customers in healthcare space. They did not have projects in finance, and they said they will give it when it comes. But interestingly, they had one project wherein they had to build a finance module for a healthcare organization.
Wow.
So then they
you had that interesting mix.
I did not know healthcare then.
Yeah, you did not know healthcare then.
Yes. So because I knew finance,
right,
they asked me to work on that project.
Okay.
And when I started working on the project, I started getting more and more into healthcare. Because while we had to build the finance module, we had to work on the HIPAA file formats, 835s and 837s, and ANSI X12 standards had come up. Then we had to work on all the interoperability things. So without my knowledge, I started getting into building healthcare applications for many of the customers that we had then. So that's how I forayed into healthcare, being a chartered accountant and being a technologist. For a few years, I liked it. I thought I'm going to make a big difference to the healthcare world. But then slowly I realized that at the end of spectrum in the healthcare world, there are two personas. There's a doctor and there's a patient.
Right.
And neither of them wanted to use technology to come between them. So invariably, I started building digital workplace applications, which was not that interesting at that point of time. For many, many years, I felt I made a mistake in choosing the domain that I was supposed to be. Fortunately, not today.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but I continue to focus on healthcare. I did not change my domain. I still thought that there will be one day where healthcare will embrace technology and I'll be able to make a difference to the world. And so I continue to focus on healthcare.
You made a very interesting point. You said, I choose technology and healthcare over CA because I felt that was something close to my heart. I always believe this, when you do what you love, the results are always amazing. You have been ranked among top 50 healthcare innovators and influence in the world. It's amazing. This is the result.
Yeah.
Can you throw some light on that?
Sure. So I was amazed when I saw those results, and I was ranked among top 50 innovators in healthcare. So it so happened that, as I was saying, for first 10, 12 years, I was building healthcare digital workplace applications. I think the change happened was in 2014.
Okay.
I remember I was in Paris and I was attending a technology event, not a healthcare event. And before 2014, not many technology events people would talk about healthcare. They would talk about bank and finance, aerospace, travel, transportation, and logistics. And those were the hot topics in technology events. So on that day in Paris, when I entered the event, the main billboard was a Chinese guy holding a human brain scan, which was put in front of the main lobby. So I was very surprised. I called my friend and I asked him what's happening. He said, Srini, it's all because of emerging tech. Came back to India, started reading a lot of things about emerging tech. After 6 months, I called him and I said, hey, I've now read a lot about emerging tech. It's nice. He said, Srini, you're too late. By the time you figured out what emerging tech was,
it was updated.
The industry has renamed it as emerging deep tech. I was like, okay, so let me also read something about emerging deep tech. I started reading. By then, there was an event organized by Microsoft for vice presidents of different companies on emerging deep tech. So that fascinated me, and I went and attended the event. And I got myself registered, went into the conference room, and there was one guy who was saying, for identifying a fraud in credit card transactions, we are using CNNs, which is a convoluted neural network. The other guy was saying, it's not CNN, I think you better use RNN. And there was one more guy who was saying, no, you have to use KNN, which is key nearest neighbor, along with CNN, then it will help you better. I walked out of the meeting room. I went to the front office reception. I told them that, hey, I'm supposed to go to vice president's room. Looks like you sent me to architect's room.
Okay.
Because vice presidents are not supposed to know technology so deep.
True.
And they're supposed to be dumb people managers like me. So please send me to the right room. They said, no, sir, that's the room where VPs are talking. So I was so amazed. I made some notes. And then I kind of realized at that point of time that my knowledge in technology was extremely low. And then I also checked with a lot of technologists at that point of time in India, people with 10, 15 years experience. And no one knew what KNNs was all about. And that by 2014 and 15, Anaconda and Python were still snakes in India.
True.
Believe me. They were nothing related to technology at that point of time. So then I started writing articles. Since the word dummies was taken, I started writing articles called as Idiot's Guide. So for example, Idiot's Guide to Artificial Intelligence in Healthcare. Idiot's Guide to Blockchain in Healthcare, Idiot's Guide to Virtual Reality in Healthcare. So, Idiot's Guide to Neural Networks in Healthcare. To give fundamental information to people so that we can up the knowledge. And let's go back to the event in Paris. I told you that there was a Chinese guy who was holding a brain scan. So my question was, why a Chinese guy? Why not an Indian? So then I realized that in the AI world, when AI was at the peak of its inflated expectations at that point of time, when Google had bought DeepMinds and IBM was focusing on Watson, India was nowhere in the list of gaining AI supremacy. US was number 1 and China was number 2. Earlier to this, when Indian IT industry picked up, China was nowhere in the list, but suddenly they are number 2. India was probably 14 or 15. So then I started reading a lot of articles. I started talking to a lot of colleges. I started telling them that you all need to bring course curriculum which can meet the industry demands. Why is it that there is no MBA on artificial intelligence? Why is that there is no MBA on data sciences?
True.
Why is that there is no MBA on social media, mobile analytics, and cloud? So these are the things that we have to bring in, because we just don't need programmers, but we also need people who can do the think tank by building all these things. AI has got AI ethics, responsible AI, ethical AI, a lot of things.
True.
AICTE is a very important thing today. We need MBAs for that. And the course curriculum of engineering graduates, right? So at that point of time, few of the colleges also offered me to teach. So I'm an adjunct professor in colleges, thanks to them today. So that's how I started writing articles. I started presenting myself in different seminars, talking about how India has to really do well in terms of upping our ability to focus on emerging deep tech.
True.
So in due course, there were a couple of organizations which kind of recognized me as one of the top 50 influencers and innovators in the world at that point of time. I'm very grateful and thankful to them.
Fantastic, sir. I wish you many more laurels and accolades in the coming years. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, what really drives the healthcare segment is the innovation that happens because, the trends keeps on changing. You have fostered a lot of culture of innovation in healthcare and life sciences, which is a unit of Happiest Minds Technology. Can you recollect some of the innovations that really, I would say, was a big time breakthrough?
Sure, I'll be more than happy to talk about it. Mm-hmm. So, Happiest Minds as a company has a pedigree of focusing on emerging technologies and emerging deep tech. So that's imbibed into the culture and DNA of the company. So when the company started in 2011, the major focus was on digital. Mm-hmm. That's why our tagline has always been born digital and born agile. And at that point of time, we focused on digital technologies, we focused on SMAC, we focused on IoT, cloud, and many other technologies which were emerging at that point of time. So company continues to foster the culture of innovation since then. Innovation is not something that we can just like that bring up, right? It has to be part of the company culture.
Absolutely.
That's how we can do that. So that's part of your question. The other one, yes, the interesting engagements, projects that we have been doing.
Yes.
So about 2 to 3 years ago, Ashok Sutta, who's the founder chairman of Happiest Minds, he wanted to invest in healthcare. So we identified a few areas, and there was a new company created called SCAN, which is a not-for-profit foundation. And the main objective of the philanthropic activity there was to find solutions to certain problems for which there's been no solution yet. For example, neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's, bipolar, and many other disorders. Stroke. We've seen many people dying out of stroke without any knowledge about it.
Yes.
One fine day, right? And world is also realizing today that even though human brain controls the body, it is your gut which controls your human brain, right? 90% of the serotonin chemical that is required, used in the brain, is actually produced in your gut. So the link between the gut and the human brain is going to be extremely crucial for healthcare for future. So we decided to take up research in these areas. Parkinson's to start with, very important for the world. A lot of people who are suffering from it, and there's no solution yet. So we formed a consortium working very closely with premier mental health institutes like Niman, St. John's, TDU. So where we try to bring together allopathy, Ayurveda, and also other forms of medicine. So to look at holistically how best we can come up with a solution to these problems. Here we are bringing in technology. It is not just technology, it is deep tech. Like for example, for us to find a link between gut microbiome and human brains, we have to bring in genome sequencing. And along with genome sequencing, we have to bring in AI as a part of it, deep learning as a part of it to find solutions. So today, Happiest Minds is investing a lot of time and money in helping SCAN, which is a philanthropic organization, to come up with a solution to these problems. And sorry about this, to these problems, and how technology can support this. So this is one major initiative that we are working on at this point of time. So for this initiative, we should not only have the clinical ontological information, but we should also have social determinants.
Yes.
Because you don't know why a person has got Parkinson's.
That's why.
It could be because he was in Bangalore, he was in most polluted cities across the world, and because of that, he would have had Parkinson's. You never know. And also, same with gut microbiomes. Right? So we are collecting clinical, social determinants, and patient-generated health data put together to come up with the solution. So it's a very long drawn program which is heavily dependent on technology. So that's one. Second, most importantly, if you look at healthcare today, healthcare is moving from a point of care to point of need. People are well informed today. People want to make their own decisions, and people want to be involved in their healthcare process. And people don't want to focus only on reactive care, but people want to focus on preventive care. So that you don't end up in a situation and be in a hospital.
Correct.
Right? Nobody likes hospital, even if it is a 7-star accommodation.
Absolutely.
You really don't want to be staying there, right? How better it is. So couple of years ago, we launched a new company called Happiest, which is poised to be India's premier health services organization. 2 years ago, we started with a knowledge services website. You can log into Happiest Health. It's a fantastic website with tons and tons of information healthcare, curated by doctors from worldwide.
Wow.
And edited by a lot of editors that we have, a fantastic team of professionals working together. Interestingly, we have brought in technology also here. If you have a website with hundreds of articles, you will not know which article to read. Whereas in today's world, people don't have that patience. If somebody is wanting to reverse their diabetes, so we have created a small GenAI-based tool called Happy. So if you log into the website and if you say diabetic reversal, it will generate the required information in the articles so that you can really focus on what you want to do. We are starting 500 diagnostic centers all over India. We have a wet lab in Kanakpura Road for gut microbiome testing. And we will also be starting health clinics. Everything put together under one umbrella, where we are building a member 360 view, whereas a customer can holistically see, or member can holistically see his health, and also doctor, so that we can treat the patient better in a preventive way than in a reactive way. So these are two major initiatives that we have taken.
I was talking to you backstage. You have been into this sector where at the time it was in an infant stage. Now people are talking about AI, all the latest technologies, business analytics, and so on. Where do you see the future of India's healthcare division?
Indian healthcare has to transform, and it is transforming quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at last 5 years, the amount of pharma companies, the amount of research organizations that have been set up in India is incredible. So India is becoming the center stage of healthcare today, which also means that there's a lot of scope for innovation at this point of time. So I always recommend people that this is the right time for anybody to get into healthcare, be it as a business professional or as a technologist, and start being part of this journey that India is going to take in the next 4 or 5 years.
Okay. So this is a platform, GIBS Talks podcast, wherein a lot of budding entrepreneurs across India consider this platform as the biggest, learning materials for them. There are a lot of viewers watching us today. So, any tips for the budding entrepreneurs?
Sure. I'll be more than happy to do that. So I always believe that this is the fastest pace of technology's development that we have ever seen in our lives. I'm pretty sure you agree with me. And I will also tell you that this is the slowest that we are ever going to see for rest of our lives, which means technology is going to work much more faster than what we ever saw in our life before. So today, if you want to build something new as an entrepreneur, as an innovator, it's a digital world. You have to understand digital technologies. You have to understand future of technologies, what is new that is coming up. You have to really understand the business problems, and you have to figure out how best you can marry these two. That's, I believe, at this point of time, is the right way to move forward.
Lovely. I think that was a fantastic, I would say, an end of an exciting session that I would say with you. A lot of us watching have realized I would say, the past, the present, and the future of the healthcare division. On behalf of all the viewers, I extend my heartfelt thanks to you, sir. Thank you for making in the show.
Thank you so much.
Right. Don't forget to like our official channels in the social media platform, GIBS IRE Talks, GIBS Business School. For now, this is Guru Prasad, host for the day, signing off. Thanks for watching.